Look, so here's the prompt right here for the high detailed image. We got reflections on the ground, and then look at the image it created and look at the reflections. I mean, both tires are going to the forward. I mean, that's pretty insane of where we've come on AI. All right, so for Software Tuesday this week, we're going to go back through some AI. So I know ComfyUI is everywhere. There's so many videos on it. There is a couple of different ways to do it, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this video here. We have an exe file. I explain what the exe file is, and then we have the portable. And I'll talk about what the portable is and what you should and should not do when installing ComfyUI and what you need to do. All right, so in this video, I'm going to explain the do's and the don'ts of ComfyUI. So there's two ways to install ComfyUI. I'll leave the links down below to the both the ways that you can do it. The easiest, quickest way to get up and running is to go to ComfyUI.org, and you can download their exe file. And what the exe file is, it's no different than any other app on your computer, and it runs from that. There's a good and a bad. The good is everything's there. It makes your environment, if you're not familiar with Python, if you're not familiar with a lot of these environments, it literally makes your environment for you, which I'll show you here in just a second. The bad about it is you really need to have that on your main drive. So if you don't have that much space on your main drive, because you will eat some space on your drives. And when I say you're going to eat some space, this right here is my comfy models right here. Just the models folder is 889. So these are ones that I have saved, some of the models that I use. I'm actually going to be going through here because a lot of these are older models and we have new models that perform a lot better than the old ones. So again, when I say you're going to eat up some space, you are going to eat up some space. So when you're doing an install, you can go ahead and install ComfyUI and tell it to go to a separate drive, which is another spare drive. But then you come into some problems whenever it's making that environment because it's wanting to pull from your C. So for instance, for me, C to D, you're pulling from your C to your D, and every once in a while there's a conflict with it. Sometimes you can solve that conflict, and it tells you throughout the setup process, which I'll show you here in just a little bit, that you can move your model folders to a spare drive. Sometimes that is pulling teeth, literally. It is very hard sometimes, especially for if you're inexperienced and don't know what you're doing. So the second way that we have that we can install is called Comfy Portable, which is pretty much the main way that you should be doing this, but you got to learn how to actually run an environment. It's really not that hard, but once you get it done, it just runs like it's supposed to run, which we're going to do both methods in this video. So let's talk about some of the don'ts. Number one don't is if you say you install the exe file and you find that it's eating up too much and you want to go ahead and switch to the portable, you do not want to just go to control panel, go to apps and programs and delete that program or however you delete your programs. You need to be using Revo, a program like that that actually takes everything out of the registry and everywhere that folder is. I've done videos on Revo before. It is one of the best softwares. I mean, J2Sense has even done videos on it. It is one of the best softwares out there that you can get to, and they have a free version, but I do like the paid version to take everything out of your computer without leaving traces of that program behind. Do not get ChatGPT to write you a script to install all this. You will sit there for days. Trust me, I know. Ask me how I know. Seriously, in the comment, ask me how I know. Do not have ChatGPT. ChatGPT can help you pinpoint certain things, but unless you know exactly a little bit about coding, about putting things into PowerShell, to ask ChatGPT or whatever AI you're using, unless you know the exact terminology to get it written in there, you're going to come in a little bit of conflicts. All right, so like I said, we have a couple of ways of doing this. So we can come right here to ComfyUI.org and click here and go ahead and click the download button. And then now here's your install. So you can download for Windows, requires NVIDIA GPU. So, or if you're on the Apple Silicon, you can click right here. So just go ahead and click down for Windows. So if you want to install it, the portable, you also can come right here and it'll take you straight over to GitHub to get what you need. But this isn't the only thing that you're going to need. So here's your desktop application, which is what we just did. And then you got your Windows Portable, which is what we're fixing to get right now. So we're going to go ahead and click on Windows Portable. Okay. And then it says click right here. Simply download, extract the 7-zip file and run. This right here will take, depending on your system, depending on your RAM and your processor, this right here will take roughly 5 minutes or so, 5 to 10 minutes, depending on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit the download. If you're familiar with Python and you're familiar with scripts, you can come right here and you can run Comfy right here from a script. So there will be a couple other things that you need for the install. You will need git. So I'll try to leave all the links down below. I'll try to remember to get everything linked down below. But you need git. You need a Python. Again, Python, if you go back to the Git page where you download this from, it tells you Python 3.13, but most dependencies run on 3.12. You will need CUDA. If you're running an NVIDIA card, you need to install CUDA. You also need to install Visual Studios. Visual Studios helps with everything creating. I don't see a lot of people talking about putting this in whenever you're running your own local environment. These are things that you actually need to have in here, and it will make things run faster, smoother, better on your machine. Okay, the first way I'm going to show you is going to be the easiest method for most people, and that is from the ComfyUI.org. Go ahead and double click it and go ahead and install. Okay, when it's done installing, it's going to say go ahead and run Comfy. You want to go ahead and run it. Hit finish and run. Now you're greeted to the welcome screen. Go ahead and hit get started. Then you choose your video card. You can do CPU mode, which I don't suggest anyone to try to do. So NVIDIA. So now we're at the point where I don't want this on my main drive. And right now it's showing that it's going to install it on my main drive. And if you read right here, it says select a directory for ComfyUI user data. A Python environment will be installed to be in the select location. Okay, and then it gives down here of all the paths so far that it's using. Go ahead and click here. I'm going to go ahead and go to my D drive because that's where I want mine. And I already made a folder up called AI. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit select. But now we get, please install ComfyUI on your system drive C. Drives with different file systems may cause unpersistable issues. Models and other files can be stored on other drives after installation. That is where it can be a pain in the butt. But I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go hit next. So if you already have a Comfy install on here, say you did have portable and you want to go ahead and go to the EXE, then, or you have it somewhere else, you use Pinocchio or something, you can go ahead and select where that's at. I'm going to hit next. Of course, I want automatic updates on my Merrick's, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit install. So now what it's going to do, it's going to go through and it's going to create my Python environment. I don't have to do nothing. If you didn't have Python installed, it's going to do everything for it. And if you start reading, it's still putting everything in my C drive, but it's going to make my environment though on my D drive. And so what that's going to look like is here's going to be your environment. This is the environment right here. All your models and everything will be here of what you download and what actually creates images and videos. Okay, so now we are loaded up to it. It automatically goes through everything, and now we can choose what we want to do. I'm going to go ahead and close this for just a sec. Again, you get little Comfy updates right here. We're going to go ahead and close that out, close that out. So now you're here and you got a blank canvas. So you can come down here, you can see different things. You can come up to the manager, install missing nodes, so on and so on. So now you're ready to make an image. So we're going to come up here to this little Comfy icon, the little C icon, and we're going to hit browse templates. But we also have settings here. So settings, you can come into settings and you can set certain things up in here. Remember what you do. I would only do one or two things. Don't mess it up. Leave a lot of it alone. If you don't know what it is, leave it alone. All right, so let's go ahead and let's create something. So we're going to go ahead and browse templates, and I want to create an image, right? So we can click image, and it's going to give you every image generator they have here. So one of the best ones right now is the Quinn, and of course Flux is actually good as well. So I suggest any of these three right here for your images, for Flux, and for these two right here for Quinn. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit Quinn right here. And now this is where the exe file is really, really nice, because you don't have to just download it and go figure out where you need to install it. Watch this. I'm going to go ahead and download. I'll be speeding up as well the video so you can see. I do have really fast internet. I have 2 gig down, 2 gig up. So mine goes pretty quick. Go ahead and get these big ones going. So as soon as these are done downloading, I don't have to do nothing. Where whenever I do the portable one, I'll show you in the portable where you're going to have to learn where to put everything at. And saying that, if you notice right here, like this right here, this is a text encoder, right? It says that it's text encoder and then / Quinn 2.5. So it's telling you this is going into the text encoder file. This one is telling you it is going into the diffusion file. So if for some reason you need to download this from somewhere else, it tells you what files that it needs to go into. Okay, so it's almost done downloading. Never hit don't show this again. Don't ever do that. That way you can always see this. Okay, so now it's done. So I literally can go ahead and hit run. I don't even have to refresh this thing. I can hit run, and now it's going to go ahead and create. I didn't mess with none of my image size or nothing because sake of this video, normally I do 1920 by 1088 whenever I create an image. If you watch other videos and you see somebody doing there's another model or whatever, and they're doing something where it's a really quick or it's an upscale, and you install it. Once you install it, it'll be down here underneath custom nodes. There one up being another section down here called custom nodes. I am running a 4090 and 96 gigs of desktop RAM with a Intel Core 265K. So there's the image that it created right there. Again, it is just like what they promise. Got your words, got your letters. So say you want to find this video. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and go to the folder that you wanted all your stuff in, which mine was DAI, and then my output is going to be where that image is. So now there's my output. Again, nice image. It's just their stock image. I'm going to go ahead and leave that folder there. Go back to Comfy. Again, it is its own UI. It's not just, it is using its own local web page, but it's using its own UI to do it. It's not opening up a separate browser. If you ever run into something or you want to see the progress down here at the top, bottom left, you can hit the second button down here, which toggles the bottom panel. And now this gives you your terminal of what's going on and what's being used right here. Okay, so just so we know what we're dealing with here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change this to 1920. I'm going to type in 1080, but it auto-fills it for you at 1088. Again, you do have other things to the side that tells you what you're using and what you need. Here's what they said, your first generation, second generation with 8-step LoRa. This right here is actually a super quick one. We can actually activate this one right here and do it in 8 steps. So I'll change this to 8 steps and then go ahead and run it again. Okay, so for this one as well, it took 128 seconds because that was the first time we ran it. And this is what I produced. It also took a little longer because I did set it to 1920 by 1088. Again, now we can go back to our folder to where our picture is, and there's our picture right there. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Everything is spelled just like I have it. I told it to make me a neon sign. And now I can take this into the image to video and make this flicker and actually look like a real neon sign, which is cool as crud. So again, this one took 36 seconds. So if you're just wanting a quick, easy way to get Comfy up and running, there you go. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one. If you're wanting to get into depth into it and really use Comfy and be able to modify and do most things on your own, then that's what the next part of this video is going to be, is the Comfy portable parts. So you just close it out. That's what I just did. I close it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy this over to a drive that I want to put it onto. I'm going to put this on E drive and go ahead and paste it here. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and extract it. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to just hit extract all. You can, but you're going to run into problems. You want to go ahead and you want to extract here with 7-zip, because that's what this is a 7-zip. This right here will take about 5 minutes or so, depending on your system. Okay, so now that it's here, I'm going to go ahead and delete this file right here. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. And now you have your Comfy. This is everything just like what we have in our D drive under Comfy. Our models, everything that's here is now in our portable. So first thing first, don't get ready to be snapping on these right here to go ahead and run it. The first thing you want to do is you can come through here because again, it's going to be Python enabled. You do have to have Python installed on your system. So remember, install Python first. I already have it installed, so there was nothing to show. When you're done, your outputs, everything will be right here. Your models will be right here. So anyways, so what the first thing we want to do is go to update, and what we want to do is update ComfyUI and Python dependencies. This is going to be the very first one we want to do. Double click it. It's going to go ahead and open up CMD, and it's going to start doing it. Okay, this will try to update your PyTorch and all Python dependencies. So if we notice, it says requirements are already satisfied, so everything is done. So that's it. That is the first one. If you know that you just installed everything, then all you have to do is hit Comfy, update Comfy bat right here, and you're done. You can hit Comfy stable and you're done. So I'm going to go ahead and hit back. So in the new one, we do have a GPU fast and we have a GPU normal. All we're going to do is we're going to hit run NVIDIA bat. And again, we're going to let Windows do its thing. Now it actually popped up on my other screen. Let me pull it over to this screen here. Now we have everything right here. Again, we have it here. So now it's telling us that it wants us to download everything that we just downloaded. But if you look right here in the front, see it says VA text. This is why you don't want to ever hit this don't show me again. Because now what we're going to do is we're going to download, 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 download. Okay, and what I mean by manually installing it. So here I have the file, which is my Quinn image VAE, just like it says on right here, the VAE right here. So now what I got to do is, now that I downloaded it, I now have to go into Comfy. I got to go to my models. And now I got to find VAE. And then I got to put this in the VAE. So you got to do that for all your files, where the Comfy EXE is just a one shot. Okay, so now we got it all where it needs to be at. I'm going to go ahead and hit run. So I executed it in 90 seconds was my first run. And this is what I got for my image. Again, I am at 1920 by 1088. Don't forget to like and subscribe on a billboard. It followed it to the T. 100% followed it to the T. So just like before, we're going to go to what folder we have it, or what drive. So mine, this is on the E drive. I'm going to go to my portable. I'm going to go to ComfyUI. I'm going to go to output. And here are my output. Actually, I want to delete that folder there, or that thing that says put outputs here. Go here, and now here is my picture. And I mean, it is pretty detailed, pretty realistic looking sign right There. All right, some other things for ComfyUI. If you notice in here, I do not have a manage button up here. Okay, that's going to be the first thing that I probably should have went through that first, but we need to get a manage button here. So same thing, we're going to go to GitHub to get our manager. So here is the manager, and this is what we need. All right, so one of the easiest ways to install this is to go into your custom nodes folder, and then what you want to do is pull up CMD, and we're going to copy this. So basically what we're going to do is you go back to where your ComfyUI is, and we're going to go to custom nodes. Here's our custom nodes. And then at the top, right here, when it highlights blue, a lot of people don't tell you this, and a lot of people get lost. When it highlights blue, you're just going to type in CMD, enter. Okay, so now it's going to bring up a command prompt, and now you're going to hit Control V from copying it off of GitHub, hit enter, and now it is going to install the manager into the custom node. So we are done there. So now what we want to do is close everything down. Go ahead and close that down. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and run the GPU bat again. And right here, if you see, it is installing the manager right here. And now it's going ahead and going to open up ComfyUI. And now we have us a manager. Doing AI is not really that hard. You have two choices to run ComfyUI. Me personally, I like portable. I would go with portable all day long. You still got your own environment, your Python. There's not a lot now versus what it was a year and a half ago. I mean, heck, 8 months ago, it wasn't even this easy. But if you want it even easier, I would go with the EXE. Me personally, I'd get me a 4 terabyte and use the EXE on my main drive. That's just me. I just want to make sure I got ins and outs on both. It's real easy. If I had my own way of doing it, I would probably buy a 4 terabyte or whatever for my main drive and have it all on my main drive, but I would still use portable. If portable is a little too much and you like the feature of the EXE file, you just click the whatever model you're using and it puts it in the folders that it needs to go into. Go with the EXE. It's not that hard. If you're doing just images, go with the EXE 100%. If you're trying to get into videos and stuff like that and get into really in-depth, you really need the portable and have it on a separate hard drive. But thank you for joining me on this Software Tuesday. I do Software Tuesdays. I do Smart Home Wednesdays. Speaking of Smart Home Wednesdays, go ahead and check out right here because here's my Smart Home Wednesdays. Maybe there's something that you want in your house at Smart Home. I got a lot of products coming in to do reviews of for Smart Home Wednesdays. Don't forget to like and subscribe.